Bible, 7 minutes in the Word of God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the earth yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. In VidDevoBible, you could add to and you could take from that with which you're reading. But if you do, then it's no longer the Word of God. If you make for commentary and you add to that with which God has said, then it's man saying and not God saying. But what does God say? And what does God say when he speaks to us? In Genesis 1:12. And it says, and the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good. When a testament is made or a witness is told, when a story is related, then the person's reliability is dependent upon that person telling exactly what they were told. Because if they change it or rearrange it, if they make it into some other way, then it's no longer their testimony or their witness, but it's their idea. It's their commentary. It's their relating that which they think as opposed to what they saw or they were told. When God first spoke to humanity, we recorded it according to what we heard, and that hearing of the ear was that with which we passed on to each other and said to one another what God had said. And as that story was told and communicated one to another, then eventually it was written down into what we have today as the Word of God. Just like you would stand around a campfire and you would say to someone who was listening, I've got a story to tell. Have you heard about it? Did you hear the one? Once upon a time, or even better, a long, long time ago. In the Word of God, as God has given us His Word, He has spoken to us in Genesis 1:12 by telling us the story of creation, by telling us the fact of what happened, by telling us as God has said, and we are listening in 1:12, and the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind. The earth brought forth grass. It doesn't say that the trees did, or that the waters did, or that the swamp did, or that some other occasion occurred. It simply says that which a child could understand. The earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind. The earth brought forth the grass, and the herb yielding after its kind. So we know what God has said. We know what we are told. We know what we have heard. We know what we can tell others. We know what a little child would understand if we were speaking to that child and telling them what happened in creation. And we could speak unto them and we could say with all authority and all assurance without having to argue or debate anything, because it's so clearly understood in Genesis 1:12 that the earth brought forth grass. The earth brought forth grass, and the earth brought forth herb yielding seed after his kind, and tree, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw it was good. And God saw that it was good. When you have God telling you that it's good, then you know that it's good. When you have God telling you what happened and that the tree, the earth brought forth the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after its kind, you know how the tree came about. There's no question as to where the tree came from. There's no question as to where the herb came from, and there's no question as to where the grass came from. We have the answer to those questions right here in what God has said. And because God has said it, we can believe it. And because God doesn't need someone to interpret it, and because God doesn't need someone to defend it, and because God doesn't need anyone to come alongside it to be a witness for him, we simply have to accept the fact that this is as it was so. And so in verse 12, when we read, "And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the earth yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good," that's all it is, and that's all there was, and that's all there ever shall be. For God said it, we've heard it, and now you have 7 minutes in the Word of God as VidDevoBible has spoken and related to you that which God has said. And you've heard the Word today.